just amazing. Every year, car manufacturers design amazing-looking concept cars that utilize new, cutting-edge styles and features. Some of their ideas may have been a bit overly ambitious, though. And today we'll be taking a look at 10 amazing-looking concept cars. Number 10. The Hyundai Elevate. Up until now, practically every single car has used tires to move. But in 2019, the Hyundai Elevate concept challenged this norm. You see, unlike other cars, the Elevate has robotic, multi-joint legs. Inspired by the legs of grasshoppers, their mobility gives this car the ability to climb steps, lift itself above flowing water, or even jump across 1.5-meter-long gaps in order to move from place to place. This makes the possibilities with this car endless, and as of now, Hyundai has suggested that the Elevate could traverse rubble and debris in order to transport disaster relief personnel, be used to aid in the construction of buildings, and have a role in rural exploration and off-roading, or just even take passengers of taxis or rideshare services right up to their front door. And while it's likely it won't be released for quite a while, this type of design would wildly disrupt the status quo. Number 9. The Ford 49. Now, generally speaking, concept cars are forward-looking as they try to create a model of what the future could look like. However, the Ford 49 is a blast from the past that tries to take the essence of the Ford cars of 1949 while inserting a modern spin. In terms of the exterior, what sets the 49 apart is its rounded body, which stands apart from both contemporary and modern vehicles. Beyond the shape, the 49 also has a massive glass roof that extends from the front to the rear, hidden windshield wipers to give it a smoother appearance, and polished 20-inch wheels to give it a classic look. The 49 also has a minimalist interior, with its features including a floating console, bucket seats covered in retro two-tone leather, and a one-piece instrument cluster. And while this car never made it into mass production, I'll definitely say that it had a super cool design. Number 8. The Jeep Bolide XJ002. While the idea of a Jeep sports car may seem unthinkable, it very nearly happened over 50 years ago. Development of it began in 1969 by using a Jeepster Commando's pickup frame and a running gear provided by Borg Warner's Marben Chemical Division to create what many consider to be the first sport utility vehicle, or SUV. Essentially, a sports coupe body superimposed onto an off-road ready frame. This yellow vehicle was certainly peculiar, while features such as its plastic windshield and apparent lack of properly developed doors made it stand out from most other vehicles. When it was put on display at the New York Auto Show in 1970, it was very well received, although due to little interest on Jeep's end, the concept was eventually sold off. According to reports, there are currently efforts to bring this concept to life, although I'd say that the chances of these efforts leading to a commercially viable consumer vehicle are extremely low. Before we move on, remember to subscribe to Just Amazing for more amazing themed videos. Number 7. The Jeep Mighty FC. While Jeep may not be a big player in the pickup truck game, the Jeep Mighty FC, or forward control vehicle, would have been a game changer. First unveiled in 2013, the idea behind it was not to achieve off-road prowess, but rather to have improved space efficiency and versatility. It placed the occupants above and in front of, rather than behind, the powertrain, and this reportedly helped give riders a very smooth driving experience, and even when driving up steep hills and down hills. Now, in terms of parts, it was largely made up of stock Wrangler items that were reconfigured into what was necessary for this large of a vehicle. While this didn't stop Jeep from seriously considering the idea, it ultimately didn't go forward, especially since its crumple zone is more or less where your feet and legs are, meaning that it would not likely pass modern crash safety tests. So, while the Jeep Mighty FC was a cool novelty, it was likely far too big and hastily designed to move forward as a mass-produced car. Number 6. The Volvo Concept Recharge. The Swedish car company Volvo is known for creating super safe cars, but soon it may also receive recognition for making their cars super green. That's because in 2021 they released the Concept Recharge, which is a blueprint of what Volvo thinks its cars will look like by about 2030. By that year, Volvo plans to go completely electric and create cars with a carbon footprint that's 80% lower when compared to the cars it sold in 2018. And in 2040 they plan to be a completely carbon neutral company. In order to pull this off, these cars will be made from sustainable materials and produced in carbon-neutral factories. For example, they plan to create their bumpers using the fibers of linseed plants, seats using responsibly sourced Swedish wool, headrests made out of a bio-based and recycled material known as Nordico, specially crafted Pirelli tires made from 94% recycled materials, and door panels crafted using recycled plastic. Beyond the materials, the car itself will also be made of a svelte body shape that improves aerodynamics and range, and an upright rear and lowered roof that will help make the car more efficient. When you further consider that Volvo plans to cut the charging times of its electric vehicles in half by 2025 and increase their range to 1,000 kilometers on one charge by 2030, it's not hard to see why Volvo will likely be a true innovator in the electric vehicle space. Number 5. The Citroën Tubic. If you live in France, chances are that you're familiar with the Citroën H-Van, a staple on the country's roadways for decades. For much of the 20th century, too, it was a major method of transport for both French workers and French goods, as its high roof, low load floor, and elegant simplicity helped to find its way into the hands of people from all walks of life. However, Citroën has yet to build a true replacement, and the Tubic concept has been the closest thing to one. First unveiled in 2010, the Tubic is above all envisioned to be a people mover, as it can seat 9 in custom seats that can be rearranged forwards and backwards as desired. If there aren't 9 people in the car, the middle seats can be converted into a table or oversized lounge chair, and in order to get in and out of the vehicle, passengers can either use a conventional door or go through a gull-wing door that opens upwards. In a departure from most cars, the seats are trimmed in felt, the door panels and backrests are wrapped in silk, and flooring is made of leather, flipping conventional car materials on their head. To top this off, the Citroën Tubic is a hybrid 4 powertrain that produces 200 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and similar fuel economy figures and carbon dioxide emissions to that of standard sedans. While this may make the Citroën Tubic seem like an incredible replacement to the H-Van, it never was put into production, and only time will tell whether or not Citroën will revive the idea sometime in the future. Number 4. The Fiat Turbina. While Fiat is known for making small, compact cars that are perfect for Italian roadways, the Fiat Turbina was a massive shift away from everything the company is usually associated with. That's because this 1950s-era concept car was essentially a jet-powered racer that would have easily been one of the craziest vehicles to ever hit the road. The idea behind it was to put turbine energy into a car, which, according to Fiat, would make it, quote, the first turbine car built in continental Europe, end quote. While the technology for turbine engines had been developed during the war thanks to their use for jet aircraft, Fiat saw those engines as the future of car manufacturing, and so decided to start development on the Turbina in 1948. And when it was first displayed in 1954 at the Turin Motor Show, it certainly turned a lot of heads. In terms of looks, the car had a two-tone white and red color scheme, fixed side windows, no headlights or taillights, large Pirelli tires, and a super funky race car-like design. By contrast, the interior of the car was quite bare, as while it had a dashboard with no less than 12 gauges, it had black bucket seats, no soundproofing, a simple cover that separated the cabin from the engine, and in a great departure for most Italian vehicles, no gearbox or clutch. However, coolest of all was the engine itself, which produced 295 horsepower at 22,000 RPM, making it an absolute screamer for the time period. However, due to frequent overheating issues and high fuel consumption, it never entered mass production, although to this day Turbina still stands as one of the only functional jet power cars ever created. Number 3. The Rolls-Royce 103 EX. Rolls-Royce is the pinnacle of luxury, as their cars are known for their sleek looks, amazing specs, and overall posh feel. And while there's no doubt that their cars are top-of-the-line vehicles in the present, their 103EX concept shows what could be in store for the future. First debuted in 2016, what's immediately striking is the design. While the body is sleek and colored in a funky black and turquoise, the wheel beds are big and boxy, making the car look like it's hovering in the air. While this is already crazy enough, it's the inside that's most shocking. Featuring no steering wheel and what's essentially a massive lounge area, the idea is the car will drive completely autonomously and allow you to rest and relax inside a warm environment. In order to achieve this with style, the 103EX has wood paneling, ivory wool carpets, a massive OLED screen, a skylight, and an actual sofa, all of which create a luxurious yet comfortable feel. The model also makes sure not to miss out on trademark details such as the analog clock and umbrella, while also having each part be fully customizable so the car can look exactly how you envision it. If that wasn't enough, the car also comes with an AI companion named Eleanor that puts Siri and Alexa to shame, as Eleanor will adapt to your personality in order to become the ultimate personalized companion and entertainment system as you whiz down city streets. So if you manage to become a multi-millionaire in the next 50 years or so, you may be able to buy this cool concept car. Number 2. The BMW Vision M Next. When it comes to sports cars, the BMW Vision M Next is the vehicle of the future. First launched in 2016 as the Vision Next 100, it was continued in 2018 with the Vision I Next, and in 2019 the Vision M Next made its debut. Now, in order to come up with its design, BMW essentially set up an internal contest whereby BMW designers competed against one another by submitting hand-drawn sketches. After 18 months of judgment rounds and draft changes, the final result was the BMW Vision M Next. Now, the body of the car comes in a color-blocked combination of matte neon orange and silk matte silver, with this being combined with other sections made with recycled carbon fiber. The front of the car has striking red grills, with openings that are covered with transparent panels rather than mesh and have the ability to be lit up bright red. In terms of overall design, the M Next is roughly a wedge shape, and its mixture of hard creases and flat surfaces take both futuristic and retro elements into account. The sports car look is accented by many other more discreet features, such as the small windows, hidden air intake, and C-pillar design. And as a rather strange twist, much of the rear is taken up by a massive diffuser, while taillights using the same laser wire tech as the headlights reproduce an abstract rendering of an ECG heartbeat. However, it's the interior that truly makes the car stand out. In order to enter, the car uses a top-of-the-line facial recognition system, and upon the touch of a sensor, the butterfly doors open up. Once inside, the driver sits in what BMW has called the Boost Pod, which is made up of multiple curved glass screens in front of the driver, a heads-up display, and two small screens on the race car-esque steering wheel. And to ensure maximum comfort, the seats are covered in memory foam and seem to be part of a single piece sculpted from the interior itself. To top all this off, the car's stat line is world-class. After all, it can reach 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds and has the ability to reach speeds of up to 186 miles per hour. The driver can also select between pure rear-wheel drive or electric all-wheel drive, while a futuristic Boost Plus button provides additional power when needed. So, rather than be an autonomous car, the M Next is a vehicle that's meant to be driven by a human and not a robot, and I'm very confident that it will provide an incredible driving experience. Number 1. The Fiat Centoventi. The Fiat Panda is a car that's well loved by Italians, as it's a practical vehicle that's strong enough to drive in the often narrow streets of Italian cities, while also being so petite that it can fit in the often minuscule spaces that act as impromptu parking in large cities such as Rome and Florence. However, in 2019, Fiat revealed a concept car known as the Centoventi that it hopes will be the future electric replacement for the Panda. First and foremost, the battery concept behind the car is really cool. That's because while it has a battery with a 100-kilometer range to be used and recharged every day, the car has 3 additional 100-kilometer battery packs that will be standard and a 4th that can be mounted under the driver's seat for especially long road trips. Beyond the battery, the car has a matte exterior with striking yellow grills, giving it a bit of a futuristic leg up over the Panda in the looks department. However, to add a bit of spice, Fiat is considering the use of what they call a 4U program. This would allow customers to personalize their cars with a choice of 4 roofs, 4 bumpers, 4 wheel covers, and 4 external wrap colors, with all having the ability to be quickly changed at any point during the ownership experience. What's really cool about them is that the differences between the different roofs aren't just gimmicky, with the different roof options including a 2-color polycarbonate top option for the stylish, a fold-back canvas soft top option for the adventurous, an integrated cargo box option for the practical, and even a roof-integrated solar panel for those who are future-focused. with this one perhaps being the most interesting since it can continuously generate about 50 watts of energy to keep the car cool when it's parked. However, the customization options really get interesting on the inside. That's because the dash is completely covered in dots, where accessories such as sunglass holders, GoPro mounts, bottle holders, and food containers can all be mounted, while the car doors can also be customized with storage pockets, bottle holders, and audio speakers as desired. The interior also has super high-tech seats that use a 3D knit fabric that's made from recycled yarns and a type of plastic that's both 3 times lighter than traditional molded plastics and antimicrobial to boot. To top all this off, the back of the car even has an optional tailgate message board that allows owners to broadcast their own messages to others or to sell the space to local retailers for advertising. So given all of its cool features, I really hope that the Fiat Centoventi will find its way into auto dealerships sooner rather than later.
Thanks for watching Just Amazing. Click to watch our previous video.